So I wanted to kind of do a little study of my own pieces of artwork because I'm going to hang my art up here on this wall because I have found I really need to be reminded of what I can do and what I have done and just see my own artwork and sort of be inspired by things I have done. So I'm literally going to climb up on this stool and hold the camera above this and see if I can kind of talk through some of my pieces of artwork and what I think of them or what I learned from them. You guys, I'm climbing on the desk. This is hilarious. Okay, so this one I love, and I love the darkness in it. I'm not going to talk about each one of them, but I'll tell you some things. With the octopus, I love the depth that I got in the background, and this was gouache, and then I layered on some acrylic paint. So that was a good experiment of just, I think, the depth that you can get with like a full edge to edge sort of painting. This horse I love so much. I had a girl come into my shop and I had so many paintings of animals, and she said, "You need a horse." And so I told her, okay, I'll paint a horse. And let's see if I can zoom in. It's one of my favorites. And something I love about this one is if you look over on that right side, how you see the blue on his, near his, okay, it's on his neck. I don't know the right words for things, but that blue I put there and then it didn't really make sense, but I loved it, so I left it. And I think that's a good example of like going with your gut. This one I think is a good example of sort of unconventional colors and the purples and yellows. You know, someone's going to want to decorate their living room with those colors and they will look for artwork specifically that matches. And so that's a good example of that one. This one I did in Procreate, so that's all digital art for a friend's classroom because he's a science teacher. This one I painted, a friend wanted a robin, so I painted one, and then she came back to my shop and it was done. This I think is a good example of just adding words to your artwork. You know, without it, I got a lot of negative space, but with it, it kind of works. And I love, it's also a good example of just chunking in color where you see it. When you get up close, there's just all these chunks, but in the end, it all works out. And let's see. Oh, this one. I did this really early on. So though I don't exactly love how I did the background, I think it's a really good example of letting watercolor do its thing. Isn't that just beautiful? Like, it just felt so happy. And then look at the base of that light bulb. I just chunked in colors where I saw them. And that's a really simplified way of doing things that sort of, you don't intimidate yourself. This one is in so many classrooms. I'm so proud of it. It's just a way to show like inclusion and diversity. Okay, I gotta adjust my position here. Stick with me. Remember, I'm like on the desk. Okay, so this one here is, I think, a good example of taking your time and working like petal by petal, because that is a very detailed sort of large peony. This one is, I think it's called Chaotic Blackwork, but the whole thing is made up essentially of scribbles. Some cross hatching, but really messy, and I love it. I love this crane. I'm blocking my light, let's see. I love the trolley. That one's gouache, and it doesn't make perfect sense with perspective, but it makes enough sense. And I think that one again is about the colors. Okay, hold on. Oh. Where were we? Okay, I left the sketches, like the underlying circles that I genuinely used to start this painting, in it. And honestly, it makes me sort of obsessed with it. Plus, I love, it's kind of a primary colors color palette, and I really like that too. This is the idea of just bringing together things that you think are fun. And I love that one. Okay, we'll go this way. Let's get some light. There we go. It's digital work. Not even great. I just, once again, chunked in the colors, and that's like probably my tip for you today, really. And it just says, let's eat some carrots. So to me, that's a funny thing to have in your kitchen. Kids like it. It's like, let's get some vegetables in us, shall we? This one is so vintage to me. It feels like I probably had this or saw this growing up, but I love just that sort of subdued color palette. I really like for that one. This one I did mostly with a palette knife. So this is acrylic paint. And I love really light, how light and shadow worked on that one. Okay, this one was really early in my painting. And I love her. It was like me, this is what I'm inspired to live a life that's like dance on the beach, you know? So I think that's just a beautiful one. Then I thought these two were fun because of just the boats and the way that the lines work and the colors work together. So these are just all some prints that I had left over from when I had my shop. And so now, stick with me. See, this is my light above my desk. But now I'm gonna put all of this up on this wall to just keep me inspired by seeing my own artwork.